The Pirates beat the Dodgers 9-7 in a game that had everything. 120-mile-an-hour Shohei Ohtani bomb, a gutsy outing from Bubba Chandler, and Jared Triolo doing it all. Let's recap the chaos and dig into what it means on Locked On Pirates.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Pirates, your daily dose of black and gold baseball. I'm your host, Gary Morgan. I've been covering the Pirates for 6 years now. Unbelievably, I know. Last night's game wasn't just a win, it was a showcase of development, resilience, and star power. We'll walk through the key moments, highlight Bubba Chandler's learning curve, Jared Triolo's breakout, and preview tonight's Ashcraft versus Ohtani showdown. Let's get into it. But first, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So let's dig right in. Do a little bit of a game recap, and let's talk a little bit about Bubba Chandler and what he may have learned last night. It was an awesome game. I normally don't do a game recap. As you guys know, this isn't like a game recap show. I tend to like to just talk about the little points here and there, or maybe bigger theme stuff. But this game had so many things in it that I wanted to talk to you about. I figured let's just focus on this game itself. Pirates jumped on Clayton Kershaw early, scored 4 runs in the first inning. Tommy Pham and Jared Triolo both had doubles. I mean, they jumped all over. First 5 guys reached base. I mean, like, it was uncharacteristic of Kershaw. First of all, he was wild. Walked 3 guys, I believe, all night. And they were just getting such solid contact off him, which just, again, it's not Kershaw. And, you know, I think a lot of people were racking it up to the old veteran is finally, getting punched in the face, right? Well, a lot of us old heads, I think, assumed that 4 runs was really nice. But Kershaw was going to figure it out and settle in because that's what veterans do. And that's exactly what he did. He settled in just like a Hall of Famer, minimized the bad, and ended up getting himself into the ball game, at least a decent measure. I mean, and he looked like they had the bullpen warming up in the first inning, guys. I mean, like this was close to going the other way. Right? Like they were maybe pushing 1 run across away from getting rid of Clayton Kershaw. And who knows what happens after that. It's not like the Dodgers bullpen is awful or something. But you certainly would rather get out of the starter and into the bullpen, especially at the very beginning of a series. You'd love to do that. But that's what a veteran or especially a first ballot Hall of Famer like Clayton Kershaw can do. He can suffer at the very beginning, but he's able to regroup. And I loved just the dichotomy of seeing a guy like Clayton Kershaw out there doing that, getting punched in the mouth legitimately in the first inning, and then turning around and showing that, listen, I can still salvage this. This will still end up being a decent outing for me. I will still give my team a chance to win. And I loved that compared to the opening of the Pirates with Carmen Mlodzinski and then Bubba Chandler coming in, and both of them getting scuffed a little bit. Bubba Chandler gave up a home run to Shohei Ohtani, in one of his innings of relief, and it was a 120-mile-per-hour rocket. It's the hardest hit homer by a Dodger in the StatCast era. Shohei was unbelievable last night, 2 doubles and a homer. Andy Pajas touched up Chandler for another one. He gave up 3 runs in his 4 innings of relief last night. And the 3 runs, he gave up the lead. He ended up letting the game get tied, but he stopped it right there. He kept his head about him. He realized that you're going to get punched in the mouth sometimes in this league. And when you get punched in the mouth, it's how you react that makes you a difference-making pitcher. It's not whether you will get punched in the mouth. That will happen. It's how you react when you do. And I was so impressed by Bubba's resilience. He just kept pushing back, and you could tell. You could tell he was a little bit overwhelmed. He was definitely following Henry Davis's lead, which was good. I was listening to him. I saw a couple times where he looked to shake him off, and Davis almost stared him down, like, "You sure, bro?" Like, so I mean, there was already a little bit of a learning curve there, where Davis is kind of like, "Yeah, you're not going to get away with the fastball." The biggest problem with Bubba last night wasn't necessarily his stuff or anything, or his command, or whatever. It was just that he would get frustrated with how long an at bat was going. At least I felt, okay, just from watching it. He would get frustrated with how long an at bat was going, and then he would just decide, like he probably did in AAA, well, screw it. Here's 100 right down the middle. See what you can do with it. Well, at this level, especially facing a team like the Dodgers, good chance that what they're going to do with it isn't going to make you very happy. You know what I mean? So I think good lesson to learn. I love staying aggressive, like in the strike zone. That's still what you want Bubba to be doing. You'd rather him do that than be nibbling around the edges and whatnot. But you are going to get taught a lesson every once in a while in this league if that's the way you're going to pitch. Still love the aggressiveness. Still love the pushback. Love the fight. Ended up earning a win in this one. That's 2 wins and a save in his first 3 MLB appearances for Bubba Chandler. Again, this was not a great outing last night. It's more about the lesson he learned. It's more about after those couple home runs and getting touched up a little bit that he comes out of the game and you get like a one-on-one moment with Brent Strom where like you could just see the coaching. He's putting his arms on his shoulder. He's telling him like, "Hey, this is the way this goes. That's how that happens. Listen, this is a lesson you learned here." And Bubba's just absorbing it, shaking his head. And yes, absolutely, understanding him. And they're just having this deep conversation that lasted almost 5 minutes. And this was right after Don Kelly had hugged him and told him that the outing was over. I love that stuff. Somebody asked me online last night if there's been any news as to whether Brent Strom was going to be coming back next year. As far as I understand it, there's not going to be anything official, if only because the Pirates front office situation is very in flux. But I know Brent Strom wants to be involved in this pitching staff. I've heard personally that he plans to come back next year, but I don't think he wants to commit to it until he fully understands exactly what they're doing with this front office and whatnot. And no, I don't think that it's directly tied to whether they would keep Ben Cherington or not. I think it would be more about whether they were going to keep the other elements of this, coaching staff together. I think that's got a lot more to do with it than necessarily the front office, if you will. But I've heard positive things. I think he's enjoying his experience. The players are certainly enjoying having him around, and I think the results are there. End of the day, I think of Strom the way I think of Professor Slugworth and Harry Potter. Okay, like he was the guy that like collected different famous wizards and like wanted them in his circle as somebody he taught. I kind of think Strom is like that. He likes collecting big name star pitchers and like just making sure they've been under his tutelage and he's gotten eyes on them. And I think he just sees that opportunity here in Pittsburgh. And it's something that I don't see him walking away from unless he's asked to walk away from it. So I believe he will probably be back. The bottom line with Bubba, he's learning on the job. And the Pirates, if you ask me, are supporting him in the right way. They were right to push him through last night, even after he got hit a little bit. They were right to make him continue to do that. This is the perfect kind of competition for a guy like this. This is a lineup he's going to be expected to equalize next year. just like Paul Skeens is. When Paul Skeens is facing any opponent, you don't go, oh man, I hope he's okay. You go, Paul Skeens is pitching. We're going to win. Well, that's what they want Bubba to be too. This is the perfect training ground for that sort of thing. This is exactly what you want. I said yesterday on the show, I love playing these tougher teams this time of year when you're trying to train guys, when you're trying to knock that rookie out of them. These are important lessons that you want taught now. And I love the way Bubba responded to it. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about Jared Triolo. It's time for us to admit some things to ourselves. And let's look forward in a healthy way about this kid, for real. Hey, Locked On Pirates fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with a free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON. Get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or even an e-gift card for Amazon or other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live, the energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives you the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by a Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app makes it super simple. You can even see the exact view from the seat before you buy it. And I already mentioned it, but it's super important. Know your total up front. The fees are included with no surprise fees at checkout. Download Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Hey, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Make sure you hit me with a subscribe and a like. You guys are crushing it. I love it. I love watching those numbers just climb every single day. And the Pirates we're coming towards the end of the Pirates season, and you guys are still blowing it up. Thank you so much for trusting me and just continuing to grow the channel. Listen, if aliens were to land on the front lawn of the White House, it doesn't matter whether you believed in aliens or not before they landed. So long as you're willing to admit that they're real once they have. You get what I mean? Jared Triolo is no different. It doesn't matter what you've said or thought about Jared Triolo in the past. Because the facts are, Jared Triolo right now is playing like a starting level shortstop in baseball. He is. Undeniably. His August numbers are in. Obviously, they're complete now. 338 average, 918 OPS, 27 hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBI, 14 runs, 4 stolen bases, 13 walks, 19 strikeouts, and that's in 25 games. A lot of you have written him off already. I did. But he's forcing a second look. This is not the same player that we've been criticizing all year. There is something different. And just because it was a simple change, lifting the hands up a little bit more in his batting stance, I don't think we should pretend that this is no less a transformative change. Everything's different. Look, he had 2 doubles last night. The exit velocities on those were 110 plus each. This isn't Brian Hayes. Like, he's hitting. He's legitimately hitting. And he's more than playing the position well. I have some questions on his range to the right. I think he ranges to the left, arguably too well. He's been fielding some balls well on the second base side of things, and including last night, he had one, and it was great play and everything. But that range comes at the detriment of being able to go to your right a little bit. And right now, I'm not sure that's the best situation because their third base situation is a little bit in flux. Okay. Not that Cam Devaney's been bad, but I don't think he's the type that's going to recover for the range loss at shortstop. So I do have some questions about the defensive side of this shortstop equation with Jared Triolo. But the offense, this kind of offense at shortstop, bro, listen, first, it's a lot to expect that to be maintained forever. I'm not doing that. I'm not telling you, like, hey, this is what he did in August. That's what he's going to do forever. Shut your mouth. Jared Triolo is a starter. I'm saying right now, this is what he's done. He's made an adjustment, and it's paying off. He looks great. You can't argue that. You can't lie about that. Okay? Yeah, his BABIP numbers are up there, but the exit velocities are way up too, which tends to kind of increase those BABIP numbers. I like where he's at. Everything. Mentally, physically. Just he feels like he's on top of his game. Listen, this is a guy that's going to come back and get an opportunity next year. And no offense, but I don't want to hear about Connor Griffin. Like, he's going to come when he's going to come. I think that could be for real at some point next year. But it doesn't have to be shortstop. Like, if Jared Triolo is playing like this and it's time for Connor Griffin to come up, he ain't getting blocked. The fact that Connor Griffin can play shortstop and center field, I can, and we've talked about this before, but Gold Glove level in center field, and I still have some questions at shortstop. I think there's a little bit of work to be done there yet. As to be expected, he literally just started playing it really in earnest this year. But if and when he's ready to come up here, if shortstop's answered, so what? Connor Griffin will answer another spot. I mean, or honest to God, if these numbers are real and this is the way he's hitting, Triolo can play third base. What do I care? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about who this blocks out or whatever. Just in his stratosphere, the players that are in the same kind of time frame as him, who's been better at shortstop for this team? I'm asking you. I've heard some people want chances for Liover Peguero, but again, I don't think Liover Peguero's really earned it, and his defense is visibly subpar there. Visibly. And again, the bat hasn't come along. And no, he did not get the long opportunity that Jared Triolo has gotten. Jared Triolo has gotten way more shots than Liover Peguero. But I'm not going to complain because it's worked. Do you get what I mean? The other argument you have is, well, hey, we know Jared Triolo can play third base. We know Cam Devaney can play shortstop. Why in the world are we flip-flopping them right now? Well, because Jared Triolo, again, is showing you with his bat that he's a much more permanent fixture than Cam Devaney is right now. Why would you move Jared Triolo from a position he's trying to take over for a player that you aren't sure belongs here yet. And let's get our priorities straight too. Like when we talk about team control, Cam Devaney is technically a younger player. The Pirates have more team control of him. But Jared Triolo is a considerably younger player than Cam Devaney. So there's a lot more upside that is untapped there. There's a lot more possibility. The way he's playing right now, it's not just a fluke. The exit velocities are up, the contact numbers are up. He's hitting meatballs now, and he was missing every meatball earlier. The strikeouts, they're there, but they're counterbalanced now by walks and base hits for that matter. I love where he's at. I'm not sure leadoff's where I'd leave him, but it's working so far. And all I can say is just accept it. When you get a guy that shows you something after all this time and all this hard work, don't you as a fan deserve that every once in a while? I'm not telling you this is a complete finished story. I haven't written the end. Jared Triolo hasn't written the end. I don't know how next year is going to turn out. I don't know if he shows up to spring and he looks like a pumpkin again. But for right this second, this is the best performing shortstop we've had here in a long time. I unless you want to go back to O'Neal Cruz, but defensively, that was a problem the entire time we tried it. Like, the guy's hitting and he's playing really, really well. Let's enjoy it. This is the goal. They sent him down to AAA to work on something. He worked on something. He came back up. He's killing it. We accepted that when it happened with David Bednar, did we not? Yeah. So let's accept it now. I'm just saying, like, if you actually send them to do something and they do it and it works, well, why do we have to act like it's still not going to work? It just worked. When we come back, I want to talk about tonight's matchup in particular with Shohei Ohtani and Braxton Ashcraft. It's going to be another opportunity to see young versus Hall of Fame players. And I can't wait to see it because Braxton Ashcraft probably has the best attitude that you could possibly have for a matchup like this. And I fully expect him to go out there and act as though it doesn't matter at all. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization for your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It helps organize, especially streaming apps. There are so many of them, and they all have different times of the month where the money comes out, and they'll increase the prices on you without notifying you necessarily, or if they do, it's in an email you ignored. That Monarch really helps with all this stuff. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Hey everybody, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. So Ohtani last night went 3 for 5 with 2 doubles, 1 home run, couple RBIs. That 100th home run of his that he hit as a Dodger last night happened in just 294 games. That is the fastest to 100 home runs in Dodgers franchise history. When people talk about Shohei Ohtani potentially being the best baseball player ever, they're not lying. I mean, what we're seeing right now is special personified. And while I want my team to beat every team he's ever played for and handily, and him as well, I cannot, as a baseball fan, sit here and tell you that I don't enjoy the living hell out of watching Shohei Ohtani play baseball. And tonight, we're going to get to watch him pitch. Now, he's still rehabbing from Tommy John surgery that he had back in September of 2023. And he only returned to pitching this June. So he's only thrown 32.1 innings so far. Now, in that time, 44 strikeouts, 4.18 ERA, and 11 starts. Now, here's something that just freaks me out to think about. Until 2 games ago, they were only allowing him to throw fastballs and splitters. And those are his numbers. Those are his numbers. 44 strikeouts, 4.18 ERA, and those 11 starts. And in 8 or 9 of those starts, he has only thrown. I mean, it's crazy. Shohei Ohtani is an unbelievable player. Appreciate him and hope that we beat him tonight. Dodgers are easing him back with simulated games and cautious pitch counts, and they're only recently reintroducing breaking balls, like we said. But despite all that, he's still hitting like an MVP. He's still giving his team a chance to win while he's pitching. I mean, just think about like what he's trying to go through. In fact, remember back to the preseason, there were people talking about how he probably shouldn't even pitch. Why would you even mess with this, Dodgers? Just look at all the other pitching you have. Well, I think we forget that this is a guy that finished 4th in the Cy Young vote years ago. Like, this isn't a slouch of a pitch. Yeah, if you can have him pitch, he pitches. You don't like get in the way of somebody that's this special. Okay? So I love that they let him do it. And this is just interesting as hell watching him rehab from it. You've seen what guys do when they're rehabbing from Tommy John. And here's a guy that's DHing all year long, getting his start now every 5th day, going maybe an inning, 2 innings, whatever, going right back out there. There's no testing your stuff against, lower level hitters. There's no working your way slowly back into innings and then resting and then doing think about all the extra hoops that have had to be jumped through to get through this Tommy John rehab. And it's his 2nd one. So, I mean, all while hitting. It's crazy. It's just crazy to even think about. And all that to say, here's Braxton Ashcraft that's going to face him. Big test tonight. And again, I can't think of anybody better. I don't think Ashcraft's going to go, 7 innings or anything. I think they're still going to hold him around 4 or 5. They're probably going to continue to do this piggyback thing and work with the young pitchers this way. But Braxton Ashcraft has been that dude this year. Nothing phases him. No matter what situation you put him in, he just does what Braxton Ashcraft's going to do. And his stuff, I got to be honest, out of everybody that the Dodgers probably plan to face in this series, Braxton Ashcraft probably got the least amount of attention. You think about it. They've got Skeens tomorrow, so they've been thinking about Skeens. They knew they were going to get Bubba last night a little bit. They got Bubba. Carmen Baczynski they knew they were going to get, and they've been waiting for him. In fact, they've seen him before. So they're preparing for all these young pitchers, and the Pirates have these fireballers that they can throw out there one after the other, and the Dodgers are ready for it, right? But I bet Braxton Ashcraft is the one that kind of took a little bit of a back seat. He's got a chance to stand toe-to-toe with Shohei Ohtani tonight because Shohei Ohtani isn't going to be in this game all that long. And it won't have much to do with how the Pirates attack him. So the most interesting thing really is when Braxton Ashcraft faces Shohei Ohtani when he's hitting, and then turn around and he comes right back on the mound. It's a weird situation that you just don't get to see anymore in the game since the DH has become universal. And there's nothing about the game of baseball that Shohei Ohtani doesn't make just a little bit more special. And I just cannot wait to watch this game. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for Braxton Ashcraft because this is exactly the kind of challenge that this kid thrives on. And he's a guy himself who has battled injury his entire career. So to be able to just like be on the field with somebody like that who's gone through it himself a few times and just see that you can still be excellent, you can still be everything you wanted to be. Nobody can tell you can't be because you've had these injuries. I love that. I love this whole setup. And you know what? I love the Pirates' chances to actually win this game. I really do. I love the Pirates' chances in this series. I think I told you that yesterday. I think they have a knack for playing up to their competition. Last night was just different, though. This is a team that got a lead, and they didn't just sit on that lead. They kept keeping themselves just a couple steps ahead of the Dodgers. And thank God, because the Dodgers are nipping at their heels all night long. Again, I don't do game recap shows, but this one, I just didn't know how else to go. It had to be this way. I loved so many things from that game, and I just want to make sure that we had a minute to talk about all those different things. And I honest to God, I didn't even touch everything. Brian Reynolds continues to hit. Henry Davis finally got off the snide with runners in scoring position. I think he was 0 for 42 or something. Finally came through with a single to right field. A right field approach against fastballs that mentally I've been begging him to go after all season long. That's the key for Henry, by the way. He's got to take that opposite field approach and everything will come together for him. He'll suddenly catch up to fastball. I know. It sounds crazy, but just if he does that, everything will come together for him. Last night wasn't just a win, it was a glimpse into the future. Bubba's learning, Triolo's emerging, and the Pirates are showing fight against the best. Let's see what Ashcraft brings tonight. Until then, keep it locked on, Pirates, and let's go Bucks.